Hello everyone, my name is Pisek, or you can call me Benz as well. I'm from Keston. Today, we live in a world that AI is evolving at lightning speed. And in order to stay on the cutting edge with solid foundation, we are diving into a new free lecture series on Agentic AI from experts at UC Berkeley. I will be summarizing each of the lecture for you, providing you with key insights and details so that you get the essential knowledge that you need. For the first lecture, LLM Agents Overview, we'll learn the origin of the powerful large language models like GPT, Gemini, and Claude. We will learn from Yann Dubois, who works at OpenAI right now. We will see how models learn from the entire internet and get reasoning and manners from post-training reinforcement learning. And lastly, we will learn one fact that with raw and massive scale amount of data and compute, it's more effective than any secret training algorithm. Before diving in, let me share with you a secret. In making the lecture summary, I am using GenAI to help me. More specifically, I'm using NotebookLM. First, I get the lecture slides from the course website, and then I get the transcript for the lecture video. Then I give both of them to NotebookLM and ask it to create a very detailed summaries that contains key topics and supporting details. After that, I then ask it to create a video overview, which we are going to see it soon. But rest assured, I actually watched the lecture video in full, and I make sure that the video overview contains factual information. Alright, here is the actual summary of the first lecture, LLM Agents Overview.
You know that chatbot you use every day? Ever stop and wonder how it gets so smart? It's not like someone just flips a switch. It's actually this massive, really intense educational journey. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and see exactly how an AI goes from being a simple text predictor to a sophisticated assistant. All right, so let's jump right in. Here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll meet the AI when it's basically a raw, unhelpful genius. Then, we'll follow it as it, swallows the entire internet. After that, we'll see how it gets taught some manners. And finally, we'll get to the secret sauce, the incredible engine of scale that makes this whole thing possible. So to really get why this whole process is so important, you have to see what these models are like before any of this training kicks in. The best way to think about it is like a genius who's read every single book in the world, but has absolutely zero social skills. Just a walking encyclopedia with no idea how to talk to you. And that brings us to the core problem, right? Why doesn't a raw AI just answer your question? Well, it's because a base model, fresh out of the box, isn't designed to be an assistant at all. Its one and only job is to predict the most likely next word. That's it. It's just a pattern matching machine, not a conversational partner. Okay, and this slide just shows the difference so perfectly. It's a total night and day situation. On the left, you ask a base model a simple question, explain the moon landing to a 6-year-old. But instead of answering, what does it do? It just keeps the pattern going. It spits out another question, explain the theory of gravity. It literally thinks you're just making a list of things to explain. But now, look at the right, the trained model. It gets it. It understands what you actually want, your intent, and gives you a simple, helpful answer. Getting from that mess on the left to the helpful assistant on the right, that's the whole game. So how do we even begin to make that leap? It all starts with the single biggest, most data-hungry step of them all, pre-training. This is where the model learns about, well, basically everything. The idea behind pre-training is actually pretty simple, but the execution is just monumental. The goal is to make the model read or process trillions of words from all over the internet. And by constantly just predicting the next word in a sentence over and over again, it starts to pick up on everything. Not just grammar, but facts, reasoning, and all the weird complex patterns of human knowledge. But, and this is a huge but, you can't just plug an AI into the raw internet. I mean, have you seen the internet lately? It's a mess. It's absolutely full of ads, junk, repetitive legal text, toxic content, private info, you name it. So before the AI can even start its schooling, someone has to build the library and, more importantly, throw out all the garbage. And this right here shows you just how intense that cleanup job really is. It's this whole multi-stage pipeline. So first, they basically download a massive chunk of the web, then they have to rip out the raw text, filter for all the bad stuff, and deduplicate everything. And you would not believe how much of the internet is just the same boring headers and footers copied millions and millions of times. Then, finally, they use a bunch of clever rules and even other AIs to hunt down and keep only the highest quality stuff for the final curriculum. And the scale of this filtering, it's just staggering. Let's take the FineWeb dataset, which is a really popular one for training. As you can see here, they started with over 200 billion tokens. And you can just think of a token as a word or part of a word. After that whole cleaning process we just talked about, they were left with only 15 billion. That means over 90% of the data they collected was thrown out, all to create a really top-notch curriculum for the AI. All right, so the model has now read the entire cleaned-up library. It's full of raw knowledge. What's next? Well, now it's time for post-training. I love this part, because it's basically the AI's finishing school. This is where we turn that awkward genius into a polished, useful assistant. Post-training is all about one word: alignment. This is the whole process of steering the model away from just mindlessly predicting the next word and towards actually being helpful. This is the magic that made ChatGPT feel so revolutionary compared to older models. It was specifically trained to listen to your instructions and have a useful conversation. Okay, so the first big method here is called supervised fine-tuning, or SFT. The easiest way to think about this is like giving the model tens of thousands of flashcards. On one side of the card, there's a question or a prompt, and on the other side, a perfect human-written answer. The model trains on these examples over and over, and it learns to clone that helpful conversational style. But SFT isn't perfect. It has limits. Sometimes, if you force a model to always give an answer, it can actually teach it to make stuff up, to hallucinate. And that's where the second method, reinforcement learning, comes in. With this, the model generates a few different answers to a prompt. Then, a reward system, which could be a person or another AI, tells it which answers are good and which are bad. It's basically trial and error on a massive, massive scale, teaching the model to prefer responses that are correct, safe, and genuinely helpful. And it's this 1-2 punch of fine-tuning and reinforcement learning that teaches the model all the skills that make it feel like a real assistant. Things like following really complex instructions, changing its writing style, using tools like a calculator or a search engine, showing its reasoning step by step, and, super importantly, knowing how to stay away from unsafe or harmful topics. So we've seen pre-training and post-training, but what's the engine driving this whole incredibly expensive transformation? What takes it from a raw predictor to a helpful assistant? Well, it really all boils down to one single dominant force. And here it is, across every single one of these stages, from cleaning the data to pre-training on the internet to all the alignment work, the secret ingredient, the biggest thing that determines how good a model will be, isn't some super clever secret algorithm. Nope. It's just raw, massive computational scale. More computer power equals a better model. Period. And this isn't just a hunch, It's a predictable, almost scientific phenomenon called scaling laws. What researchers figured out is that they can run small experiments and plot the results on a graph. And that line on the graph can accurately predict how much better the model will get if they just throw 10 times or even 100 times more compute at the problem. It basically turns progress into a question of resources, of money. This whole idea was captured perfectly by a pioneer in AI named Richard Sutton in his famous essay, The Bitter Lesson. And his point was that, in the long run, simple ideas that can leverage massive amounts of computation will always beat more complex, fancy, human-designed tricks. In the world of AI, scale is the winning strategy. And just to help you wrap your head around this kind of scale, let's look at a state-of-the-art model like Meta's Llama 3. The biggest version of that model was trained on 15.6 trillion tokens of data. That is an amount of text that is just impossible to imagine. It's like reading a library thousands of times bigger than any library that has ever existed in human history. And how long does something like that take? Well, that training process ran 24/7 nonstop for about 70 days. And it wasn't just on one computer, obviously. It was running on a giant supercomputer, basically a cluster of 16,000 of the most powerful graphics cards, GPUs, that money can buy. So what's the final price tag for just one of those training runs? The estimate is somewhere around $52 million. That's the mind-boggling cost of scale. And it's exactly why building these top-tier, frontier models is something that only a handful of giant companies in the world can even think about doing. And this insane demand for data and compute leads us to a really fascinating and kind of weird final question. We're getting close to the point where we've basically used up all the high-quality human text on the internet. So what happens then? Will the next generation of AIs have to learn from data that was generated by other AIs? What happens when the student has to become the teacher? That's something to think about.